Right then, welcome back to another episode of the Tempest Rising podcast. Recently, I've been trying to streamline some stuff and improve my day-to-day way of doing things to become more efficient and to do more of what matters. And within that, I've been thinking about what it takes to actually succeed at stuff. And I've concluded that there's only one real way to success. It's to show up. It's to show up daily, even when you don't feel like it, because the act of showing up is a springboard for action. If you turn up, whether that's to work, to the gym, or whatever it is, you've done the hardest part. Anything after that is progress, and that's irrespective of the quality. Because even if you don't feel like doing something, showing up forces you to do something, and something is better than nothing. You can work with something and you can improve the quality of something. And the same can't be said if you have done nothing. So often you'll actually surprise yourself. There are times when I really don't want to train, or I don't want to write, or I don't want to teach. There are times when I just don't want to do anything. But then those end up being the times when I actually manage to produce some of my best work. And that would never have happened if I hadn't just taken the step to show up. Because when you show up without really wanting to, you end up removing expectations, and without expectations, you're free to create. You no longer care about things not going to plan, or about the work not being good enough, or about failing. So you end up going out of your comfort zone, which brings this huge sense of freedom that we often lack when we get over-focused on doing something. And it's not always the case. Sometimes when you don't want to do something and you do it anyway, it does turn out crappy. But at least that gives you something to work with, because something is better than nothing. Now, this ties in with last week's episode about momentum, because you can't gain momentum without turning up. So the best example is going to train, going to the gym. You might not want to do it, but if you go and you do the warm-up, that will lead you into something else, and then into a bit more, and before you know it, you're done. And you're able to walk away having done something useful and having progressed. And if you do that day after day, then you will get results long term. It's a classic example of why people who have very little skill or talent can surpass others who are seemingly far more advanced. It's how I've always done everything in my life, not through talent, but through showing up and doing what's required, because it's one of the few things in life that you can actually control. And the more you show up, irrespective of the results, the more experience you're going to gain, and the more you're going to grow, which contributes to long-term success. You can't be successful in anything if you don't turn up. So the real way to success is showing up, because showing up is action. Showing up consistently is where the success comes from. So as a call to action today, I want you to think about something you've been working on and consider how you've been showing up, and how could you show up more often? How could you show up a little bit better? Now, that's going to be all for this week. We're keeping it nice and short, and I'll be back next week with another episode. There's going to be some show notes up on my website very soon. I'll post a link in the comments. But before I go, I have a question for you, or more of a request really. Either in the comments under the video or via a private message, let me know one thing that you would like some training around with regards to living a better life, with regards to becoming limitless. There's lots of free training stuff coming up that I have planned. There is a brand new group coming out which will contain loads of free coaching, but I want to know what you guys want to see more of, and then I can put something together around those topics. So I'm off to go train. I'm off to show up, and I will see you next week.